Hi there. I'm professional psychic Karen Marie. This is Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. So I'm starting a new video series on Wednesdays. I'm kicking it off today as the first one. I'm going to have a different topic for discussion every week. So I'm going to start off with my favorite topic, which is that I believe that everyone is psychic. I've been a professional psychic since 1988 here in Austin, Texas. And people ask me all the time, did I know I was psychic when I was young? And I did not. When I was 12, I had my first prophetic dream, like having a dream about something that then turned out that it did indeed happen. And I had a couple of them that were close to each other around the same time. I remember having deja vu experiences all the time as a kid growing up, always fascinated with anything, the subject matter being psychic and, UFOs and anything like that. I was always into that, definitely. But did I know I was psychic? Mm-mm. No, it wasn't until I came to Austin in 1981 and I started going to psychics myself, and the psychics telling me that I had very, very strong psychic abilities that I began to try to develop those. If I've got the psychic abilities so strong that every psychic I sit down in front of goes on and on about it, well, then I should be able to access that and develop that. So I just started doing readings for friends with a tarot deck, just a standard, you know, old school tarot style. And I just wasn't getting anything. I was really frustrated. And one day I was living in an apartment, and my neighbors from either side, I had a male neighbor on one side and a female neighbor on the other side. And they came over, they saw my tarot deck sitting on the kitchen table, and the conversation came out. One of them asked me, "So, are you doing psychic readings with tarot?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying. I'm supposedly psychic, but I'm not getting anything." And so one of my neighbors said, "Well, maybe you don't have the right deck. I've got four decks. Would you like to look at mine?" And then my other neighbor piped up, "Well, I've got three. What are the odds, right?" So they both went next door, got their cards, came back. Then there was, like, including mine, eight different decks of tarot cards on the table. This was back in the 80s. So, psychic things weren't as, big. And so it was just really odd that that had happened to me. So one of my neighbors had a deck that really resonated to me. That Aleister Crowley Thoth deck was the first deck that really jumped out to me. So I went and got that deck and started playing around with that deck. Now, I didn't look at what the definitions were in the back of the book. I just wanted to go on what my own intuition was telling me about the cards, right? And so when I first started playing around, even with this new deck that I really liked, maybe I would only get hits off of three of the cards. I get the sense of what, like, that they were telling me a story. So I would just do for my friends what I was getting, and just disregard the cards that I wasn't getting anything with. So one day a friend brought a friend over, and I was doing a reading for this person I did not know at all. And I just knew that she had been sexually molested by her father. It wasn't something I heard. I didn't see spirit guides talking to me. I just felt this flow of energy in through the top of my head that just permeated, like I had goosies on my face and down my arms. I just felt like someone had turned on electric flow of energy through the top of my head. And so after struggling with, I'm not going to tell this person that information. This is supposed to be for fun, right? And she saw me struggling with something. She's like, what are you getting? And so I apologized to her before I said anything. I said, I don't know where this is coming from, but I just have the feeling that you were sexually molested by your father. And her eyes just got huge. She started crying and she said, "How did you know that? I've never told anyone that." So that then sent goosies up my spine and everywhere. So it's like that was the point where I had first experienced channeling, and it happened spontaneously. I wasn't trying to, I didn't even know how to, but just by willing to be open to developing my abilities and taking steps to do that, something unlocked in me. Once I started feeling more of the channel experiences, I realized, oh, I've been open my mouth my whole life and having things just pour out that people would say, "Oh my God, I that's exactly what I needed to hear," or "Thank you so much for sharing that," or like I realized I had been doing that my whole life. Another thing I learned later that I had no idea I had been doing all my life was I'm empathic, which means I can feel what everybody's feeling. I didn't know that everybody didn't walk in the room and then was therefore able to feel everyone's feelings in the room. That's not a thing that everybody experiences. Kind of reminds me of my mom's a piano teacher, so I grew up having to practice every day, and it wasn't till about high age that I was like, "Wait, you don't have to practice an instrument when you get home? Like that's not a thing for you?" So it was very similar. It's like, "Oh wait, everybody doesn't pick up everybody else's feelings in the room. Like that's not a thing." I didn't know I was any different, right? That was a psychic ability. So in all the ways that we have senses, visually, auditorily, our smell, all of that feeling, we can have psychically enhanced senses. So everyone's different in terms of how they are psychic. And, I struggle to see auras and see spirit guides and I never have gotten any visuals like that. I'm not visual. I'm very visual in my life. Like I want to have it drawn out on paper. I want to read it in a book. I want to see it. That's me personally in this body. But psychically, I'm not visual. I don't see spirit guides. I don't have visions. Occasionally I will have visions, but it's not one of my regular things, right? I channel, which information just comes through me. And after I'd been doing readings for about 10 years professionally, I started doing medium work. Like that wasn't a thing I was doing initially. So then people's loved ones started interrupting the readings and wanting to come through. And it actually started with some friends. I was laying next to a dear friend of mine I was dating, and his grandmother started talking to me and told me her name was Lily. And I asked him, "Do you know anybody named Lily?" And I had never had that experience of a loved one talking to me. And so, like I said, it started with someone I was super close with. And then that opened up a portal of being able to be open to people's loved ones and doing medium work. Like all the abilities can be developed and enhanced and they can grow, just like musical abilities can grow. And just like music abilities, like everyone could learn to play an instrument or learn to sing or beat a drum. There's some people who are just naturally gifted. They come out of the womb singing. They can pick up any instrument and play it, right? Psychic abilities are like that too. Some people are just super strong, super vivid. I had a client that walked in one time and said, "I can always tell what everybody's thinking in the room. Like, how do I turn that off?" She was super telepathic. Like, again, how I'm super empathic and I can feel feelings. She was reading minds. She was hearing what people were thinking. So there's lots of different ways psychic abilities can show up. The most important thing is that you get in touch with how yours show up. And just with the willingness and the determination to get in touch with and develop and enhance your latent abilities and just asking your higher self, show me, like, let me see how I'm psychic. Let it, let it be something that's loud and clear for me so that I know it. Like I said, dreams can be a way your psychic abilities can show up. People can pick up objects or walk into a room and get impressions based on the energy that's stored in an object or in a place. Like I said, people can feel other people's feelings, can read other people's minds. Some people just can see auras. They can see spirit guides. They see, they're in touch with the spirit realm. And in the spirit realm, there's so many there's the loved ones that have crossed. There's the holy higher beings, the archangels and the divine spirits that are here to help the planet. Our angels, our spirit guides. There's also realms of people that get stuck crossing over, and there's demonic realms as well. People sometimes are afraid to get readings or to tap into their abilities because they're afraid they're going to open up a portal to something negative, or something negative would get them. And so that's where spiritual practices come in. We all have a divine nature, a Buddha nature, a Christ self, a higher self, whatever you want to call it. The intuition is the voice of that higher self. And this is the part of ourselves that we carry on with us after we put our bodies down. Like after we cross over, the soul, the energy of the soul that continues on, that connects in with your group soul family that are in another dimension, that same soul that comes back as a seedling into a human body in the future or onto another planet. I believe in reincarnation and past lives. That'll be a topic for another Wednesday's video. But I think that's enough for today's video. Like, just know that if you're already in touch with your abilities, bravo, they can be developed and enhanced and get even stronger and grow in new ways. If you're completely not in touch, you have no idea, no clue, saying, nope, that's not me, I'm not in touch at all, you can get in touch. The first thing is to have the desire to. If you want to work one-on-one with me, I definitely work with clients in groups and personally one-on-one to specifically work on developing abilities. That is one of the services I offer. You can check out all my services on my website, psychedupmovement.com, or you can just type in Karen Marie Psychic and it'll take you to my website as well. So have a great day. Listen to your own intuition. Follow its direction. When we listen to our own intuition and follow its direction, we're on the very best path for our lives. And that's the reason to tap into your intuitive abilities. You can use it in every area of your life, from how you feel guided to eat in a day, how you feel guided to put your energies, whether or not to do this or that. Like, there's a range of everyday normal things that being in touch with your psychic abilities enhances. So take that and chew on it. Let me know if you have any topics you'd like for me to cover. Peace.